Hi, chances are if you follow me, you know me for my paintings of vehicles on canvas. But if you've been a long-time follower, you may remember the two separate art cars that I've done. Both of them actually happened in 2023. I guess it was just a lucky year for me. The first of which being my personal car, which is my E92 M3, which is probably like the most minimal looking art car on the face of the planet. And then the second one was a 70s Porsche Targa that I did for Icons of Porsche over in Dubai. For the first one on my M3, I hand painted with acrylics on a vinyl wrap. For the second one, it was straight on the automotive paint. So, clear coat and all. We didn't do any surface prep. Which was a little bit interesting. The thing that nobody tells you about doing art cars is that literally every single time it is an entirely new set of variables, and it's really hard to be able to predict what is going to possibly go wrong in the process. But we can do, you can do some testing. So I don't really get to show you guys a lot of these more one-off projects that I do in depth. And I thought that this would be a kind of cool way to show you what my process looks like. So I have a sample. Yay! I'm going to be starting this off with a sample of PPF that was sent to me from Pure PPF. If you are not familiar with what PPF is, it is a paint protection film. That's what PPF stands for. So it's like a protective finish that you put over top of it. Some people call it a clear bra. And what's cool about Pure PPF is that they make PPF films that look like paint. So it's similar to a vinyl wrap, but it's just crazy because it looks nearly identical to a paint finish, like the metallics that they do and yada, yada, yada. So I reached out to them to see if I could get a sample of just any of their PPF to see if I could possibly use it for an art car in the future. And if I want to do that, then I need to make sure that I could paint on it in the first place. So let's open this up and get to testing. I've got to interject here briefly because I did not expect them to send me multiple colors, and I'm kind of geeking because these are really cool. So I have 3 different PPF films. I have this one, which I said is like a satin silver, and it is quite lovely. I love how it captures the different atmospheric colors here. The second is a glossy white finish, so it's pretty standard. Nothing too crazy going on here. Oh, actually, I may have lied. I think this is transparent. It just has a white backing, which would be cool because if it's like paint, if a PTS owner, for example, wants to paint on top of their PTS color, then you could just throw this over it and we can do it, because that would make sense because it's like really transparent. I could see my hand through it. Okay. And the last one, this is gorgeous. This is stunning. It's like a green to purple color flip. I hope that the camera's picking that up because this is to die for. Just imagine like the whole car being coated in this. Oh my God. Okay. I'm so excited right now. Okay, so this is how this is going to go down. I usually alternate between 3 different brands of acrylic paints. This is the recipe for all of my acrylic paintings. Either Golden, Winsor & Newton Professional line, or Holbein. I love Holbein paints, but they are so expensive. Some of these are $40 per tube, and this is 60 milliliters worth of paint, or 2 fluid ounces. So you didn't get too much, but that's usually the same. Like this one's actually 59 millimeters. That's so weird. If I were to rank these, number 1 would be Holbein, number 2 would be Winsor & Newton, and then number 3 for me would be Golden. The one thing that I do really like about Golden is that they have a slow dry line, which if you've ever worked with acrylics before, you know that it's so difficult to keep the paints open in certain working conditions. And so their open series actually behaves more like an oil paint does. Here's a perfect example of what one looks like. The only reason I don't use these more often is just because they stay open for too long and I don't like it. We'll start with golden because it's the lowest on my list at least, but it could come in handy because they're easy to find pretty much anywhere. You can get these at Michael's even. So this is quinacridone magenta. And then the next one will be Winsor & Newton. Again, it's the Pro Series, and this is permanent rose. So it's a little bit lighter than quinacridone magenta will be. And then the third and last one will be cadmium red purple by Holbein. Again, I have nothing but amazing things to say about this paint. This also has a really, really matte finish whenever it dries. The others do as well, but this one especially is just really satin. So let's jump straight into it. So there are a few things that I'm looking for, particularly when I'm doing this test. One is to see how the paints actually flow across the surface. And it could also be impacted by temperature or climate just in general. So, for example, if I'm working in a garage where there's no air conditioning, there's wind versus like if I'm working in a climate controlled atmosphere, like a literal wrap shop or something like that, then the flow of the paint is going to be completely different and it could take way less time than the alternative. I'm going to do some swatches of each of these brands across each of these samples. If I can't get them to flow very nicely, I might mix these with a flow aid of sorts, which basically makes your paints a little bit thinner feeling while maintaining the same opacity levels. So it'll stay true and vibrant, but it will allow you to move it a lot easier. So starting with the quinacridone magenta by Golden, let's see how it does on standard PPF. Okay, so the flow is really short, meaning that I'm probably going to have to do multiple passes to get even just like a short little line. I'm going to try going this way with it. Oof. Yeah, if I want to make this actually opaque, this is going to be quite a handful of layers of paint over and over and over again. The second paint I'm going to use is my Winsor & Newton in Permanent Rose. So let's give this one a go. Okay. That one's a lot more opaque. This is actually the brand of paint that I used on my M3, I think, whenever I did it. I'll be so honest. I use this for most of my paintings. It is just such a phenomenal paint. Look at the difference. This is also why I tell people investing in quality materials really, really matters because I totally forgot on this one. I really need to do all three in one go. I think I'll do it now. Okay, let's take some more of this Winsor & Newton and put it on each of these. Ready? Oh my God, that's so opaque. Ooh, that looks so good. And the flow is really nice too. This is way better than the Golden was. So less strokes is the better option, I guess. I just gotta pack it. Oh my God, that looks phenomenal. Yeah, this is the way to go. That looks amazing. Oh, dude. I wonder what happens when I work it just a little bit. Yeah, see, it's so funny. It starts to scrunch up. Look. But this one, seeing that it's glossy too, just like the standard PPF is. Look. Oh my gosh, it makes little cells. I wonder if it'll be different with the Holbein because it's a lot more opaque even than the Winsor & Newton is. Oh my gosh, hold on. Let me go back and do the quinacridone magenta in Golden and see how it does on both of these because now I'm so curious. Okay, the brush is clean, so let's scoop this back up again. I'm going to use a little bit more with this one because maybe I just cheated it out of being good. All right, ready? I used a lot of paint on this too, by the way. Then I'll do this one with like multiple strokes. Okay, maybe I just botched the first one, honestly. This one I'm going to work quite a bit like I did with the last one. I think that the satin is definitely the way to go. Again, I know you guys can't really see it on camera, but I'll show after it dries. Because as this is drying too, notice that it's changing color a good bit, which is to be expected. Acrylics will dry a little bit darker. Okay. Girl, how does a bug... And then I'm going to do it on this one as well. Oh my God, that first stroke is just brutal. Yeah, it did. All right. So that was quite horrendous. And then this one I'm going to work a bit. The flow of this one is just nowhere near as good. I mean, it's really hard to tell because I was rooting for the Winsor & Newton, but low-key when I make this a lot thicker, it looks way better. Only thing I will say is that this, like, if it is thinner in paint, like if I don't pack the brush and cover it completely, then there's going to be some fraying at the edges just because of the flow. Like it doesn't want to glide as easily as the Winsor & Newton does. I think that's the best way to put it. And last but certainly never least, I'm going to use my Holbein. Let's see how this goes. Ooh, hey, where's that flow? Girl, oh my God, wait a minute. What? Look at it. It's immediately fraying. You betrayed me. Okay, but honestly, this is so good for my bank account. I'm kind of glad. Let's try it on the satin. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong because that looks amazing. Look at how sharp the edges are. God, I can't believe it. Okay. Oh, this is brutal. And then I'm going to do one where I work it. Work it. Oh my God, it's such a gorgeous freaking paint. And then let's do it on the shimmery one. One stroke. Literally, it's stunning. It does feel a little bit drier though, almost, when I'm working with it in comparison to the others, just because of the material differences. And here I'm going to work it quite a bit. Look at the single stroke in the in the golden. It just exited the chat completely. Also, this one, not doing so good, not doing great. Interesting. I feel like I really need to give the original golden another go because, like, I really didn't give it a fighting chance with how much I worked it on the regular PPF. Okay, I'm going to let these dry and then I'll come back, show you the results, and then we'll do a wash test. Almost all of them are completely dried by this point, and it's enough of me to give my opinions. It's really crazy because looking at it from the other angle where the light is, you know, facing from this way instead of this way, I'm seeing some things. Yes, I didn't give golden hardly a fighting chance on this one, I'll be honest. However, even when I did give it a fighting chance, it didn't really do any better. My notes on golden is the opacity is just not there. It would be concerning to me if I get tasked with doing a light color car on a, you know, gloss finish, that the opacity is just not going to be there. I'm going to have to use so much paint and do multiple coats. And I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do it, especially if I'm on a time constraint. If I end up doing it at an event like I did in Dubai, this is just not going to be my best choice. The Winsor & Newton did really, really well. Across the board, it's really good. But again, the more that I work it, the less that the paint wanted to behave. The opacity, again, just simply isn't there. So I'm going to have to do multiple coats if I'm working on a light color. Winsor & Newton had the worst fraying that I can see out of the 3 options that I tested, which kind of is surprising to me. Nothing against Winsor & Newton. I don't think many people on the planet are going to be putting acrylic on top of PPF. Then we get to the Holbein, and the flow isn't as nice as I would want it to be, in all truth. It just feels like a drier paint. And what's funny is when I put it down, it actually dried faster than both of these two did. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe. The opacity is something that is undoubtedly far better than both of the others, like by a long shot. Even on the edges, you do not have any deviation in color whatsoever. The color that you put down is the exact color that you get when it finishes drying. So that is just supremely impressive to me. Yeah, I think the clear winner here is the most expensive paint and the paint that's going to hurt the most whenever I go to buy it. But next is to do the wash test. So then we'll really see which one holds up the best. I think my money is on Holbein right now. What do you think, Michael?
One shot.
One shot?
Yeah. You should find it because it'll be the true test. One shot doesn't work on anything.
Well, yeah, but that's a cheater.
There's nothing about cheating there.
I want to use the paint that I actually use. Okay. Now the real test is the wash test. And you know what? Now's the perfect time, actually, to try my Gyeon products on it. Actually, I feel like that's probably not going to be a good idea because the Gyeon is going to take this clean off. What do we think? I'm going to try with water first. I'm going to try with water and then I'll use proper detailing products. All right, and here's the spray test. I'm just using regular water from my sink for this. And then after this test, I'll try some proper detailing products. I'm going to douse it. I don't want to touch it because I feel like as soon as I touch it, it's all going to come off. Oh. Wait, actually. Oh, shit. Okay, if I push a little bit harder, then it wants to come. I'm using my nail, actually, and it's not coming off. I mean, it's got game. I was not ready. Wait, no, I haven't done that one yet, you cheater. Okay, Michael McCarthy. Okay, now let's try it with this one. Oh, we lost chunks. Oh, that didn't go so hot for the Winsor & Newton. I sound like a sports announcer now. Oh, look at this. We have some rippling on the Holbein. That one's going to come straight off. Ready? Yeah. What about the one that I worked in? Yep, it's gone. That's a bummer. What about the Winsor & Newton on this one? Oh. Question mark? So maybe if I work thin and then do a coat on top of it and I build it up in layers, maybe that's what this is telling me, because this was really thin, this was really thick. Let's do the Holbein and this one. Yeah, look, it just came clean off. I was using my nail, obviously, but I mean, a sponge is going to be pretty abrasive anyways when you go to wash your car. So what about a thick version of the golden? I mean,
minus the chunk you just took out with your nail.
Yeah, I'm using my nail. I mean, it's coming up. What about the thin one? I think thin is the way to go. And then just layer, maybe start like really thin and then build those layers up over time. Let's try the Winsor & Newton. Yeah, it's coming clean off. It's coming off. Okay. Holbein. Oof. This is on the satin one too. Oh, my heart hurts. Okay. Winsor & Newton didn't do too bad on this one. It's not budging. And then the golden. Once that thin coat is on, maybe it penetrates whatever kind of perforations there may be or texture on it, which clearly there's very, very minimal texture. But whatever there is, it's like that really thin layer kind of penetrates it enough. And then maybe once you add paint on top of it, it'll stick to the paint, but still be locked in underneath. I think that might be the best approach. So I'll have to try that. But yeah, look. Okay, Golden. I see you. I see you in Winsor & Newton. I mean, not too bad. Holbein, you let me down. I'm gonna grab some Gyeon stuff and then spray it on each of these. This does not want to come off like at all. And this was the thinnest coat. So you know what? This is the little engine that could, for real. Like, what a trooper. So I actually just filmed with Gyeon and tested out all of their products on Michael's car. And his car is PPF'd. And the one that, in my opinion, did like the best was the Bug and Grime. This one. Yeah, Bug and Grime. So I'm going to try this because this was really, really, really aggressive. Ready? Let's see how fast it comes up. Ready? Let's see. Okay, actually. Damn. Golden is continuing to surprise me. Like, yes, it comes up with some scrubbing. But I mean, still. Okay, that's actually insane. I really thought that it would be completely off with like one spray. Yeah, the Winsor & Newton is no match for the Bug and Grime. And then whatever was hanging on for the Holbein. Nope, it's gone. No more Holbein. Winsor & Newton, also no match. Like, yes, it comes off, but you guys can probably see what I mean, right? Like, the Golden really stood up the best to those tests. I am genuinely surprised. The cheapest paint out of these three appears to be the most permanent paint. So there we have it. It looks like if I were to use acrylics to paint on top of PPF, I'm definitely using Golden. Okay, well, actually that was a lot of fun. This is kind of a good behind the scenes look of like when I get one-off projects. Like, I have to do tests. I have to do test runs because otherwise I could get there and it could not work at all. And when I'm working in front of other people, like in front of an audience, kind of want to have these things in the bag. And a lot of times too, with live art cars, you get like no notice. They'll call you like a month or less before and be like, hey, can you do an art car for us? We're not going to pay you. We'll pay you an exposure. Just kidding. I'm totally kidding, by the way. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. That was fun. I'll see you guys next time. If you like this, then definitely let me know because I'm happy to film more stuff like this. And yeah, shout out to Golden.